In 1961, the United States accidentally dropped 2 nuclear bombs on North Carolina. Each bomb was 260 times more powerful than Hiroshima, and one of them came within a single safety switch of detonating. If that switch had failed, a 3.8 megaton nuclear explosion would have vaporized everything within a 17-mile radius. Raleigh gone. Parts of Virginia gone. Radioactive fallout across the entire eastern seaboard. And here's the part that should terrify you. The Pentagon covered this up for 52 years. Yeah, you heard that right. We only found out because of a Freedom of Information Act request in 2013. So let's talk about the day America almost nuked itself and why they lied about it for half a century. January 23rd, 1961. A B-52 bomber is flying a routine Cold War patrol over North Carolina, carrying 2 Mark 39 hydrogen bombs. Each bomb has the explosive power to level a major city. At 12:30 a.m., something goes wrong. The plane starts leaking fuel, fast. The crew realizes they're losing structural integrity. The pilot orders everyone to bail out. As the plane breaks apart in mid-air, the bombs are released. They're supposed to have multiple safety mechanisms. 6 different switches that all have to fail before detonation. The military calls this safe because what are the odds all 6 fail, right? Bomb number 1 deploys its parachute and lands relatively intact in a tree. Safe. Bomb number 2 goes into freefall. And as it's falling, the safety mechanisms start failing. One by one. Switch 1 failed during separation from the aircraft. Switch 2 failed when the parachute deployed incorrectly. Switch 3 failed on impact. Switch 4 failed. Switch 5 failed. 5 out of 6 safety switches failed. The only thing preventing a nuclear explosion that would have killed millions was a single low-voltage switch that, according to Pentagon documents released in 2013, behaved in the fail-safe manner expected. Behaved in the manner expected. That's government speak for, we got lucky. But here's where it gets worse. The Air Force immediately covered this up. Local authorities were told it was a minor incident. Bomb fragments were collected in secret. The site was cleaned up. Residents in the area had no idea they'd been seconds away from annihilation. For 52 years, the official story was that there was never any danger. Multiple safety mechanisms, they said. Impossible to accidentally detonate, they said. Then in 2013, investigative journalist Eric Schlosser used the Freedom of Information Act to get the actual accident report. And it revealed that senior officials in the Pentagon knew how close we came. One engineer wrote in an internal memo, "It would have been bad news in spades." Yeah, you don't say. Another document stated that if that final switch had failed, there would have been a nuclear explosion. Not might have been, would have been. So why did they lie? Because admitting this would mean admitting that our nuclear safety protocols weren't foolproof. It would mean admitting that we'd risked killing millions of Americans because of a fuel leak in a plane. It would mean admitting that the entire doctrine of nuclear deterrence was built on systems that could fail catastrophically. And this wasn't the only time. Declassified documents now show there were at least 32 broken arrow incidents during the Cold War. That's military code for accidents involving nuclear weapons. We dropped bombs on Spain, on Greenland. We lost bombs in the ocean off the coast of Georgia and never found them. In 1980, a single faulty computer chip almost triggered World War III because it sent a false signal that Soviet missiles were incoming. In 1995, Russia almost launched a nuclear counterstrike because they mistook a Norwegian research rocket for an American missile. We like to think nuclear weapons are under perfect control, that there are adults in the room making sure nothing goes wrong. But the historical record shows something different. We've survived mostly because of luck. The North Carolina bomb is still partially buried in that field, by the way. The military couldn't recover all of it. So if you're ever driving through Faro, North Carolina, just know you're passing within a few hundred feet of weapons-grade uranium that's been sitting in the ground since 1961. Just let that sink in. Sleep well. Here's the real lesson. For 52 years, the government told us this incident was no big deal. Impossible to detonate, they said. Then we got the actual documents, and it turned out we were one switch away from the worst disaster in American history. It could have been bye-bye Goldsboro. So the next time someone tells you a safety system is foolproof, or that the people in charge have everything under control, remember the bomb that almost erased North Carolina. Remember that we only found out because a journalist filed a FOIA request decades late. And ask yourself, what else don't we know yet? What are we being told that is possibly cap? Thanks for watching. If you want more declassified history they tried to hide, subscribe. And let me know in the comments. Should the government have told people immediately, or was the cover-up justified? Because somewhere out there, there's probably another close call we still don't know about.